Hi, boys and girls. So today we're doing topic 12.1, using customary units of length. Okay. So our problem says, look at your classroom or school and list 2 objects that should be measured with inches, 2 objects that should be measured with feet, and 2 objects that should be measured with yards. Okay. So they're looking for inches, 2 objects, feet, 2 objects, and yards, 2 objects. Okay, so I'm going to go write this down the bottom. Inches, I'm looking for 2 things. Feet, I'm looking for 2 things. And yards, I'm looking for 2 things. Okay. So before we do that, I'm going to talk about inches, feet, and yards. So if we look here, we have a regular ruler, okay? And a regular ruler, we have our inches, okay? So this is an inch. This is another inch, another inch, another inch, and so forth, okay? In a ruler, in a regular ruler, we have 12 inches, okay? So 12 inches is equal to 1 foot, okay? So like I said, this gap here, that's an inch. This gap here, that's an inch. This gap here is an inch. But all together, the 12 inches, they equal 1 foot. Basically saying that if you put your foot here, it will be about the size of a ruler, okay? 1 foot. Now, if we go to yards, if you notice in a classroom, every teacher has a yardstick, and it's usually next to their erase board, okay? In the yardstick, it's the same thing. We have 1 gap, that's an inch, another gap, that's an inch, another gap, that's an inch, okay, and so forth. The only difference is in a yardstick, it goes up to 36, okay? 36 is right here, okay? It goes up to 36. So that means that if this was a regular ruler, I would say that starting from, let me erase that. Starting from here all the way to 12 inches, that is 1 foot, okay? That's 1 foot. Again, if I go from 13, if I go from here all the way to 24, that's another foot, okay? Because remember, 12 inches is equal to 1 foot, okay? Again, I have more room. If I do it from here all the way to the end, 36 inches, that is 1 foot. So a whole yardstick is equal to, okay, I'm just going to put 1 yard is equal to 3 feet, okay? Because I have 1 foot, 2 foot, 3, okay? And remember, just because it's different words, just because we have foot and feet, they are the same thing. But I'm not going to say, oh, I have 3 foot. That doesn't make any sense. We're supposed to say, I have 3 feet. I have more than 1 foot. I have 3 feet, okay? Going back to English, going back to reading, you wouldn't say 3 foot, you would say 3 feet, okay? So like I said, foot and feet are the same thing. It's just you need to say it in different ways. You need to say it the correct way, 3 feet, okay? So now we know a ruler, a regular ruler with 12 inches equals 1 foot, and we know that a yard has 36 inches, but it has 3 feet, okay? Every 12 inches, so every 12 inches, 1 foot. Every 12 inches, 1 foot. Every 12 inches, 1 foot. That equals to 3 feet, okay? Okay, so now we talked about that. Here I made pictures of things that we would find in our classroom. So I have a pencil, I have a paper clip, a notebook journal, a computer desktop, a classroom, and a classroom door. Okay, I'm gonna go through them and see which one would I measure with. Would I measure with inches, feet, or yards? Okay, so remember, if I'm measuring something that's very small, I am not going to use a big ruler. Okay, why would I use a big ruler if it's so small? No, if I'm measuring something small, I need to find a smaller ruler. Where if I'm measuring something very, very big, well, then I need a big ruler. Okay, so keep that in mind. So let's start off with my paper clip. Okay, we all know what a paper clip is. It's very small. Paper clip is maybe like the size of our finger. Okay, so if I know that a paper clip is very small and it's the size of my finger, I know for a fact I would not use a yardstick. That would be too big. Okay, I would use inches. Okay, because even though this ruler is bigger than my paper clip, it's the smallest ruler. I would use it to measure my paper clip. So I would use inches. Okay, so here I'm going to put paper clip. Okay, and don't forget inches is these little gaps. Okay, 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, 4 inch. Okay, a paper clip would probably be up to 2 inches. Okay, or 3 inches. That's why I use inches. My next one is a notebook journal. Okay, a notebook journal is bigger than a paper clip, so it would be past 2 inches. Okay, a notebook journal would probably be maybe up to 10 inches, maybe up to 12 inches. So that just tells me that if I'm going to measure a notebook journal, that it would be feet, okay? Because it's probably going to be at 12 inches, okay? If you're at home, you have a notebook journal, you have a ruler, try it out. I'm pretty sure the notebook journal would be around here, 12 inches, okay? So you would use feet. For feet, I'm going to put notebook. Okay. Remember, if it's less than a foot, then it would be inches, like a paper clip. It's less than a foot, it would be inches. But a notebook journal is probably about a foot, so that's why I'm going to use feet. Okay. My next picture is a computer desktop. Okay, same thing. A computer desktop definitely wouldn't be 1 inch or 2 inches, okay? A computer desktop would probably be 12 inches, which again is 1 foot, okay? So for feet again, I would put desktop, okay? Let's do my pencil, okay? My pencil, let's see. So my pencil is definitely not at 12 inches, okay? A pencil is not as big as a whole ruler. It's less. So because a pencil is less than 1 foot, less than 12 inches, I would use inches to measure my pencil. So I'm going to put pencil here. Okay. Next, let's go to the classroom, okay? So this picture is just a classroom with kids in it, okay? Our classroom is very big. A classroom is a very big room. I mean, we hold about, 20 students in a classroom. It has to be a big room. So I could use a regular ruler to measure a classroom, but think, how many rulers would I need to use to measure the classroom? I would probably need about 7 rulers to measure a classroom, or maybe even more, maybe 20 rulers to measure a classroom, okay? That would take too long. So because the classroom is so big, it'd be easier for me to use a yardstick, okay? Because remember, a yardstick already has 3 rulers in it. 1, 2, 3. So it'd be smarter for me to use a yardstick. It is bigger. So for yards, I'm going to put classroom. Okay. My last picture is a classroom door. Okay. The classroom door is pretty tall. So same thing. I could use a regular ruler, but I would probably need 10 of these to measure the classroom door. Okay. Because it's pretty long. So the better option for me is to use a yardstick. It already has 3 rulers in it. Okay. So for yards, I'm going to put classroom door. Okay. So remember, the smaller an object is, you would probably use inches. Okay. If it's in the middle, you would use feet. And if it was really big, you would use yards. Okay. So this is the measurements.